Daniel, hello, sir.
What's up, boys? Hi, guys.
How you doing?
What's going on, DC?
Matt was just asking a question.
Buddies.
Oh, man.
Matt, do you want to ask DC? Because that was a good question.
I was asking. I don't know why I'm asking Jimmy.
I know.
I was asking Jimmy to kill time. But listen, champ, how are you, first of all? You doing all right?
I'm good, man. Yeah. I feel good. It's Wednesday morning. I feel great. I have energy.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
I've been watching you on the embedded, man. It's so cute with your kids because your daughter looks around the same age as my kid. How old are your kids, if you don't mind me asking?
My daughter's 5 and my son's 6. He turned 7 in 3 weeks.
Oh, that's so cute, man. No, it's nice that you like to have them around during the week. Some people like that, and some fighters are not like that. I was not like that. I get I
love them.
Kind of dark.
I love them around, man. I love them, Matt, because hey, it's the motivation, right? That's the motivation. That's what you do it for. So when you see in the motivation every day, it's easier to go train and be prepared to do what you need to do.
Jimmy, I think he answered my question without me even asking the question. I was talking to Jimmy, and I was talking about Vulcan, who's a stud, 15-1. He's putting people to sleep. But then I was asking him, I go, DC, the champ, he's been involved with some really high-profile fights, with everything, with the John Jones, the drama with that, and just big fights, man. And I'm like, what is the motivation? But I believe you just answered that.
Just to the family and competition, Matty. I love to fight, man. I love to compete. I love to test myself against other people. I love the opportunity to go out there and do what I do and prove, let's go. I mean, you said you wanted to do this shit. Let's go do this shit. It's me and you now, nobody else. Let's go. I love that.
And I really, I'm sorry, Jimmy. I really, I don't think you don't get credit enough for how witty you are. Yeah. How soon did you retweet that? Vulcan put up a thing where there was a clip, a picture of you and John Jones after the one fight, and then he's walking away. A similar picture of him walking away with somebody. But you threw it right back. It's great. Instead of letting it bother you, you threw it back up there and retweeted it. And how soon did you come up with what you said there and that response?
I just saw the picture. Once I saw the picture, I started to, I just was like, oh, this is actually pretty savage. Great job, Vulcan. Great job. But he started this shit, right? So I was being nice to him at first.
Yeah.
And then he wants to go start putting pictures. Now, I'm just saying what I feel about him. I just say what I truly feel. Like, he's going to get his ass kicked, and he's in over his head. And,
go ahead, Jimmy. You wanted to read that?
No, DC.
Why does his face look like it's about melting? Why does his face look like it's melting? What the hell, Vulcan? Why are your ears dropping down to your damn shoulders? What's wrong with you?
And DC, just to quote what you read, it was a great retweet. He thought he had you, and you wrote, "Savage post, Vulcan Uzdemir. But since no one knows or follows you, which has got to hurt on some level, I'll send that out to the public. 3,000 likes for such a good post seems like a waste. Quick point, though. You're no John Jones, and I'm no Jimmy Manoa, and I'm a lot better than Kelly Amundsen." And then you wrote, "Tap machine, #bum, #UFC 2. By the way, bum is a great thing. That's such a 1965 insult. Calling someone a bum is awesome.
But in the fight game, it's brutal.
It's great.
Yes.
Or tap machine, right? I got that from my Russian friends. Like anytime they tap, they go, "You're a tap machine."
That's fucking great.
My Russian buddies, #1 bullshit guy, tap machine. They have all these little sayings. Vulcan really did tap to a neck. He tapped to a neck crank.
Oh fuck!
A guy named Kelly Amundsen. Imagine the savage beating I'm going to put on this dude on Saturday.
And DC, I wanted to ask you too, just because I do follow you on Twitter. And you and the Young Bucks, so I guess are wrestlers, you apologize for all the hate they got. What started that whole thing? So I didn't see it from the beginning.
So, a few weeks ago, Phil Baroni tweeted a video of a match that they had done, and they had this sequence that was just crazy. It was a whole bunch of jumping and flipping, and I was like, man, this is not what I remember wrestling being. So then I said it was pathetic. And, well, I've got a platform, so a lot of people went at them, and then they defended themselves, and then some of their friends actually defended them, and it was just a whole bunch of that, right? Then yesterday, like you asking me about this now, I was asked about it Monday, and I commented about it a little bit, and then someone said I was bad-mouthing them again, when in reality I was just answering the question.
Sure.
And the guy came to his own defense. And so then we started arguing a little bit. And there was one tweet where he said something about, somebody said, I don't know what happened, but like him and I were arguing, and it said something about get a real job. And he said, the job that I make 7 figures isn't considered a real job. I thought that was directed at me. So I was like, do you think I don't make 7 figures? Well, he was responding, and I was like, well, all the stuff you guys usually use on fans doesn't work on me. But he actually was responding to a fan,
right.
And I jumped the gun.
Sure.
And then so my fans, because look, professional wrestling fans are great. They're very passionate about their stars. But MMA people are the same way. And so when they started seeing that, they kind of attacked them. And this has happened on a number of occasions. This has we were arguing, so they stood with me as the wrestlers were saying negative things to me. The MMA fans were saying negative things to this young man. And this young man said people said he wished he got cancer and they wished he would die and all that. I was like, that's too far. I love that my fans have passion.
Sure.
I love that our fans are like, you want to fuck with our guys? We're going to get you. But it was just too much, and it should never have gotten to that point. That's why I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to stop this right now because I also did threaten the guy. I was cutting weight and everything. It's a bad week to really start an argument with a fighter.
Yes.
The guy. Like, what? Like, why would I do it? Threatening this poor guy.
You guys are a bit testy on weight cut week. It's understandable. You got a fight coming up, and you're not in the best mood. You can't eat what you want. Now, how do you feel also, Jones took, and again, I know this is not concerning your fight with Uzdemir.
No,
but
fine. It's fine, please.
Jones took the polygraph and did pass it. And there's a part of me that really wants him to not be guilty of this, just because I don't know why it bothers me so much. And how do you feel about that, him taking a polygraph, and Nowitzki's comments on it doesn't appear to be the type of thing you do if you were intentionally doping?
Our good friend Chuck Liddell said something yesterday. When you say, hey, someone slipped something in my drink first time, okay, it's a little bit more to believe. Second time, it's a little bit harder to believe. Polygraph test, I don't know if it really proves anything. Plus, look, I'm going to say this. If Ted Bundy can pass a polygraph test, Ted Bundy, this dude was killing everybody.
That is a good point.
If Ted Bundy can pass a polygraph test.
He did, yes.
He passed the polygraph test.
Well, that's because he killed the guy who was giving it.
And he killed the guy. The guy's like, well, Ted, you just passed the test. Ted gets up and shanks him in the fucking throat.
That's a good point. People can pass them. I guess what Chuck said is a good point, too.
I understand the champ's point. I mean, it's the track record. It's the problem.
If you believe it, I don't really care. But, I mean, man, you just cannot keep doing things wrong and expect people to be okay with anything. It's like, how do you expect USADA to say, and I hope he gets a shorter suspension, but how do you expect USADA to say, okay, we'll give you a year, when the first time you made a mistake, we gave you a year? We can't allow you to just keep making mistakes, because then what's the point?
Right.
I'll go make some freaking mistakes. I'll go make some mistakes.
Right. Now, how do you feel, too, Uzdemir obviously has a one-punch knockout power. You faced guys like this before, though. Like I think you faced guys. Everyone said, "Oh, Rumble Johnson," and you took quite a few of his punches. And the only guy to put you down at all was a head kick with Jones's shin. You could take a punch probably better than anybody in MMA. I don't think I can think of anybody who has a harder head than you do who can take a punch. But I'm saying that the one-punch knockout power doesn't seem to have an effect on you when you fight.
I got kicked in the face by Jones, I didn't even fall down. Like, he kicked me and it hurt me, but I didn't even fall down. I took a shin right to the head, and I kind of started staggering, and I was like, oh, my God, where am I? Am I in San Jose, Anaheim? Did I freaking fly to Vegas? Like, I was lost. And then, see, this is a credit to Jones, too, because if I could have grabbed him and clinched him, I think I would have been able to survive. Or if I could have held him in some way, shape, or form, but that finishing sequence, it was a thing of beauty. I mean, I was starting to back up to try to gather myself. He didn't just start punching and going crazy. He kicked my leg and made me spin, right? What do you need? You ever try to hit a piñata after they spin you over and over and over again?
Right.
It just makes you more discombobulated. I was lost. Once I spun and tried to back up, then I tripped. And then I was like, oh, my God. And then he jumped on me. I tried to grab half guard. Again, he could have just started throwing there. But he created space, made distance, gave me the illusion that I could get back to my feet. And when I turned to get up, that's when he started laying into me. That's his closing ability. Not everybody can do that. But it took him kicking me in the head and took him using all of his finishing skills to put me in a position where I couldn't defend myself. I'm not going to get knocked out with one punch.
Right.
It's going to take much more than that. But, again, credit to John Jones and his ability to finish a fight, to do all those things that led to me being so lost that I couldn't even defend myself.
And I'm not sure if we talked to DC since that or no. I don't know if we
I
have.
think so.
Because you were very, very emotional after that, which, again, is very understandable. Was that just because of you were still, like you said, discombobulated, or were you really feeling, was the emotion very genuine, or was that more just because, again, you had just fought?
You know, they say that when you get concussed, like knocked out like that, that can happen. But truth of the matter is, and I'll be honest with you guys, like, even if it wouldn't have mattered, because it did. The first time I lost to him, I was fine and I cried. When I lost in the NCAA finals, I cried. I lost in the Olympic semifinals, I cried. Olympic bronze medal match, cried. Every time I lose, I cry. It's what I do. And it's because I put so much of myself into these things. Like, I give so much of me into these competitions that when it doesn't go the right way, it's very emotional. Like, I mean, I put a lot into this, man. I spend a lot of money on training camps. I'm going for my family for weeks. It's very emotional. I've never really gotten over that. Like, I've never gotten over, like, the emotion just kind of pouring out of me when it's done.
Now, yeah, you see, I can understand that, and I see, and other fighters, you know, they, because I know how it feels to lose in there. Forrest Griffin, he's similar in a way. He's broken down before inside the cage, and but he says that, you know, people. I heard him in interviews say, like, you know what, it's horrible right there, but people are feeling bad. Like, afterwards, like in the locker room, by the time I'm leaving the parking lot, like, he's back, he's over it. Like, he had to just let that out, type of thing. Is that how it is for you, or are you back? Are you crying for days, or? And listen, I don't look at you like a sissy. Believe me, I know how it is.
No, it takes forever for me. Like, the tears may stop, but, like, the losses stay with me. You know, I've said this, like, I have dreams and nightmares about losses I've had over the course of my life. I may just be the most competitive person around because they stay with me. Like, some nights I wake up thinking about the Olympic bronze medal match when I was wrestling against a guy who was a world champ, and I was beating him 2-0 in a 9-minute match with a minute and a half left and gave up 3 points. And I wake up with freaking sweating, like, oh, my God, what happened? Like, how could I have done that? And I feel like that about the fight with Jones. I'm like, man, if he's throwing at me in the 2 fights, 10 freaking left head kicks, how did I miss that kick? How did, it's like those things stay with me, like I lost to Cael Sanderson in the NCAA finals. I took him down. I went to let him go to try to take him down again, and I had a brain lapse, and he turned and grabbed me and threw me on the ground and reversed me. And I was like, how did I do that? Like, it's that type of stuff that stays with me all the time.
DC, when John kicked you, I think they said that they had been planning on that, or there was a thing that you were doing where you were dipping a little bit in that direction. Did you realize you were doing that, or is it something that they that just kind of happened in the moment?
It's something that I've done a long time in my career, but it worked, so it made these guys kind of seem like geniuses. But the reality is, we fought 8 rounds, and he threw 10, 12 of those same head kicks, and I blocked them all. He just got one off. He got one off, and it was good because he got it up there fast. But he did a good job. He did a lot of body work early in the fight. So when I went body block, he actually went high. Credit to him. But he threw the kick 10, 15 times over the course of 2 fights, and I blocked them all. So, yes, I was doing that. But, the one that needed to landed. I was pressuring him. I was moving into him, and honestly, he just threw the kick so fast and it landed in a great spot.
And Kane is back training with you?
Yes, he's back getting ready. He's working. comes in and works out with me to help me get prepared for this fight, man. You know, I got a guy in Volkan Ozdemir that hits very hard, but I train with Velasquez every day to get better. And to have a guy like that, and I've got 2 sparring partners right now that are kickboxing world champions, Frank Munoz and Thiago Beowulf from Brazil. And if they were in kickboxing matches with Volkan Ozdemir, I'd probably favor them both times. So I'm seeing a level of kickboxing that he can bring to the octagon.